students at home. Welcome to another episode on e-learning program organized by Kebbi State government to cushion the effect of COVID-19. Not only that alone, but to prove to the outsider that Kebbi State educational system is advancing. As your usual presenter, my name is Adekunle Adebisi. The topic we are to consider today is features of letter writing. And while I was on my way to this place, I received one of your friends' message. He asked me that I should explain more on the two major types of letter writing. Now, students at home, I want someone among you to remind me of the two major types of letter writing we have. Yes, informal letter writing and formal letter writing. Today's date, remind me please, 13th April 2020. As I've told you, our topic is features of letter writing. Students at home, another word for feature of feature is what? Characteristics. Yes. The characteristics of letter writing. As I've said, as you have told me, that we have two major types of letter writing: informal and formal. These are the major type of letter writing. And as requested by one of you at home, informal letter writing are personal letters. Are what? Personal letters. Letter you write to your parents, your siblings. And who are your siblings? Brothers and sisters. Your friends. Uncles, or your aunties, uncles, schoolmates, and all your other close relations. On the other hand, formal letter writing, as requested by your mate, means official letter. Is official, not personal. Not what? Personal. These are letters written to people in authority. People in authority and authority, such as the emirs, obis, governors, the president, most of them. So, with this little explanation, because we are just doing a sort of revision, we have known what it entails to write an informal letter and what it entails to write a formal letter. So, back to our topic for the day. Yes. We have two columns on the board. The first column is for informal letter writing, that is their characteristics. Under informal letter writing, the first item there is address, the writer's address. As a letter writer, if you want to write a letter, an informal letter for that matter, your first assignment is to do what? To write your address, your location, where you are writing the letter from. After that one, the next item is the date. The date is not part of the address. It's a separate entity. When we go into details of how to write an informal letter, you will be more familiar with how to write the date. After the date, we have the salutation. Don't forget, this is an informal letter. Under salutation, your salutation must be informal. But being that we are only considering the features, we are not going to the details. Salutation is another item where you have to salute the person you are writing to, either your parents or any of your siblings, your friends, your uncles, your aunties, or your schoolmates. Then the next thing is the body or content of the letter. That is what prompts you in writing the letter. You can't just take up your biro and your paper and say you want to write a letter. There must be reason. The content or the body of your letter must tell us, or your marker, to tell us why you are writing the letter, and that is the body or the content of the letter under informal letter. Also, the sixth one is the conclusion. Conclusion. After you have finished your letter, you must have a very successful or logical conclusion that will tell you that you've mastered, or the marker of your paper will know that you master what you are saying or what you are writing. Number 6 is item 6 is what? Informal language. Informal language. Under informal letter writing, the tone of your letter must indicate familiarity. That's why when you are writing an informal letter, it is not a crime for you to ask about your parents if you are writing to your brother at home, or you ask about your siblings if you are writing to your parents, or you write when you are writing your uncle. It's not a crime to ask about his family members. Cordiality under informal letter writing. That's why we call it the language employed for informal letter writing must be informal. Very familiar. Don't forget that informal letter writing, I told you, is a personal letter writing that indicates that you are familiar with the person the letter is meant for. Then the formal letter writing, which is also known as the official letter writing. The first item there is addresses. Unlike informal letter writing, formal letter writing requires you as a writer to write 2 addresses: your own address and the receiver's address. You can see from that word go the difference between an informal letter writing and a formal letter writing. Formal letter writing has 2 addresses: your own address and the receiver's own address. When we go into details of how to construct an acceptable formal letter writing, you will see how it goes. Then the second item on it is what? The date. Your date, the date is very, very important. When we get to that aspect, we will explain in details. Then the third item is what? Salutation. Salutation. Under salutation, the formality of a formal letter writing applies here. You have to be formal. For instance, if your father is the governor of this state, and maybe incidentally you are the secretary of a local club. And as the secretary of the club, your father is the governor of this state. You want to write a letter to him, you do not write to him as your father. You are writing to him as the secretary of the club or society you are representing. Therefore, assumption is you don't know him. You are not familiar with him. Rather, you are writing on behalf of other people. You will not write to him as your father. Rather, you have to be formal or be official. And the issue of greeting is not there. When we go into the detail of letter writing, especially formal letter writing, you will know better about this. And after the salutation, heading. An official letter must possess, after the salutation, must possess a heading. The subject matter, why you are writing, you must have to indicate it immediately after the salutation. Having said that, the next one is the body or content of your letter to any of these people. You don't know them, it's an official letter. You can't just take up your biro and paper simply because you know how to write. You want to write to the president without having anything in mind. That is under body or what? The content of your letter. So you have to have something cogent, important issues to discuss with either the governor or the emir or the OBs or any of those people that are in the position of authority. And lastly, the conclusion. Your conclusion must depict official. Your conclusion also must be what? Official. Conclusion means you are about to finish your letter writing. You have to conclude it, because if you fail to conclude your letter very well, it's a must for you to lose some marks. But a well-prepared letter must end very well with a very convincing conclusion. The last item on both sides, both formal and informal letter writing, is all about language use. You may ask yourself, or you may want to ask me, that why are we saying this one is formal and this one is informal? What is the difference? I have said earlier that the language employed under informal language is familiar language, where you can make use of it. Familiar jargons. How is your family? How is this? How is that? Your present situation, you let your parents know or your friend know about it. But under official letter writing, you don't know the addressee. The addressee is not familiar with you. You are not related in any form. Rather, what links the two of you together is business, and that business is official. That's why we call it official letter or formal letter, because of the language in use. Students at home, you have known what is going on in the society now. The national assignment for you students at home and the teacher talking is proper and good personal hygiene. Stay at home. Do not go out if not necessary. Your hand, you wash it when due. Maintain personal hygiene and maintain social distancing. Once again, I remain Adekunle Adebisi, and my phone number is 080 65 26 32 36. Good. So, as I've said earlier, maintain good personal hygiene. Don't roam in the street. Do not go out unless it is necessary for you to do what? To go out. You wash your hand anytime you touch any rough object or something suspicious object. Make sure you wash your hand, maintain social distancing, and read your books. The assignment I'm giving you now is I want you to read more on informal letter writing and the proper way of writing the address, the salutation, the body, and the conclusion. When next we meet, we are going on that. The assignment is read more on informal letter format, so that next lesson will be easier for both parties. Thank you and good day.